The medical fraternity, thank you very much. Well, it is at times like this, what sort of human beings we are becomes extremely important. When I say what sort of human beings, well, we are referred to as human beings, not as human creatures but as human beings. Because in terms of evolution, compared to all the other creatures, we are supposed to know how to be. Well, many human beings are striving to disappoint the expectations of nature to prove that we don't know how to be. But this is what it means, being a human being means that we can function consciously, especially when challenging situations are ahead of us. These are really challenging times. Probably for this generation, we have never before faced such a global situation where it threatens everybody. So these are definitely challenging times for every one of us. Well, about how we have the necessary strength to address this. See, it's always like this. If I have to quote somebody, Gautama, the Buddha said, when his monks came to him and complaining about small things, this and that, because for people on the spiritual path in those days, food was one of the biggest challenges because they don't organize their own food, they seek it from the society. We fortunately had a society which would always contribute towards this. But still, Gautama created too many monks and there was always a food issue because suddenly 3,000, 4,000 monks end up in a new city or a town of those days. So that would be a stress on the local population, so there would be many issues. So Gautama said one thing, which I came in touch with very early on in my life. And in a way, this one thing stood by me in a huge way. He said, when you're very hungry, if you give away your food to someone else, when you're very hungry and you badly need it, at that time, if you give it away, you will not become weak, you will become way stronger. I think this one thing has stood by me always right through my life. It is not that I live by slogans or morals, but when I look back and see, somehow this I came across when I was just 16 or 17, it struck me in a big way. My father, he's a medical person, and because he was in Indian Railways and always there would be some emergencies and things, small hospitals with 25, 50 beds where he used to be the in-charge person most of the time. Any time of the day or night, some emergency would come. This was something always we witnessed at home which had a serious influence on me, that he would be halfway through the meal and the moment the phone rings, he would just wash his hands right there in the plate and just go away. My mother would beg him, just 2 minutes, just finish the meal and go, but he always left. Somehow this thing about leaving his meal halfway and going away became a big image in me, that I thought this was the greatest thing about him always, that it doesn't matter what he is doing, where he is, the moment the call came, he just left as if that was the only thing that mattered. There used to be controversies and discussions at home, his mother always saying, this is crazy, why can't you finish your meal and go, why can't you do this and go? But he always left, within a minute's time he would be dressed and gone. So having said that, I'm sure many of you doctors are doing similar things in your life. So this is a time where we must be above our personal needs and requirements. Probably many of you live like this every day of your life. This is how we live here also, though we are not attending to medical emergencies. The strength of life, how strong and powerful your life is, simply depends on this, that you have placed everybody's well-being well above your own comforts and pleasures and even your own well-being at many times. When you do this, there is a powerful atmosphere around you. This is an atmosphere where I'm saying for many of you with your families, this is the kind of atmosphere that your children should grow up in, because that had such a powerful impact on me. And I'm sure that will have such a powerful impact on your children, especially at a time like this. You displaying that you're placing everybody's well-being way above your own, I think is going to be the greatest influence that you have on your children and the people around you. Above all, the nation is in huge appreciation of what the medical personnel are doing right now, and it will definitely have a huge impact on the nation itself. This itself should be a great strength for you, that what you're doing is beyond yourself. Probably for the first time in the history of this nation, the largest number of people are looking at medical professionals with a completely different light. They are not seeing you as professionals, they are seeing you as an immense service that you are rendering to the society. At a time like this, I don't want to go into much detail, but if you want details, we can send it to you, but to put it very briefly, as those of you who know me know this, that the last 39 years that I'm in this public life, almost every day I have some public event, which I am committed to large groups of people. But in these 39 years, in all this travel, I have not cancelled a single event because I am not well. This doesn't mean that I'm not well at all, because all this travel you catch this infection, that infection happens here and there, but it doesn't put me down definitely because of the immune system. In the yogic sciences, there are various things one can do to enhance one's immune system. In terms of practices, which are hard to teach right now, but we have put out a simple, powerful process called Simha Kriya, which the video of which very simple to do. We'll send it to you so that you can put it out to your doctors and nurses. This is a kind of process. One thing is it'll boost the immune system. Another thing is it involves your breath in a certain way. Suppose you start doing it today, after a week's time, if you find some difficulty in doing it, you clearly know you have some respiratory stuff even before other symptoms show up. Even before other symptoms with which you normally medically recognize, even before that you will see you will not be able to do the practice the moment there is some kind of a respiratory cause. This viral being a very respiratory related thing, it'll be very useful if you're doing the practice every day, twice a day, it'll boost the immune system, but at the same time, it will tell you it's like a gauge. If you suddenly can't do it one day, you know there is something wrong with your function of your respiratory system. And also one more thing is, right now for all the medical personnel, doctors and nurses, we are offering inner engineering online. So anybody can log in and do this, the platform has been set up for this purpose. This will also help because this is about the way you think and way you feel. You can bring a certain amount of balance and control by doing the inner engineering online program. I request all the doctors and nurses to make use of it, and there are also other processes on our app one can make use of to bring balance. But about boosting the immune system, I'm saying bringing balance and bringing a sense of exuberance in the system is very vital for boosting immune system. I don't know how allopathic system of medicine looks at it, but in the yogic system, we always see the most important thing for you to get healthy is that you are exuberant and joyful in the way you are. So, for this purpose there are many aspects, and when it comes to food, the simple thing that we do when we see that we are exposed to infections when we are traveling, if we see there are viral infections or influenza going on, all these years of my visits to United States, I don't catch influenza when it's running rampantly all over. The simple thing is just this: hot water, a little bit of honey, little bit of turmeric, and if it is possible, some pudina or coriander in it a little bit. And every 3 hours if you drink it, respiratory infections won't happen to you. We believe that all these infections first lodge themselves in your throat and then they go into the respiratory tract. But if you drink these substances, warm water with honey, turmeric and coriander or pudina, then that goes into the stomach bag and there they're not very effective, they can't cause much damage to you. So like this, every 3 hours if you… those of you who are in the hospitals like this, if the hospital itself can provide that, it'll be great. Right now, this is what we are doing to all the police personnel and the medical personnel in our region. We are providing them what is called as Nilavembu Kashayam, which works very well. We did this across Tamil Nadu, it made a big difference. These kind of things can be done to boost the immune system. In all the hospitals, if it is kept there with warm water and this, that medical personnel can drink every few hours instead of drinking just plain water. If they just drink this as a part of their thing, I think it will definitely help. My congratulations and
Thank you so very much, and what a pleasure listening in to those tips, finding the right balance, working on your immunity. It is so very important for all you doctors out there, especially while you help heal others. It has been a pleasure hosting the show for you today. The Economic Times Doctors Day Conclave, 4th edition, has been such a success thanks to the input of each and every one of you, our delegates for attending in, our inspiring doctors for making it to the listing, our knowledge partners, Medbase, thank you so very much. Of course, our entire team at ET Edge, I'd like to thank each and every one of our delegates for tuning in. Please do remember to share your feedback with us. That's how we get to know what you think about our virtual conclave. Once again, thank you so very much for joining us at the 4th edition of the Economic Times Doctors Day Conclave, with us saying stay safe to each one of you. Thank you for joining in. This is Isha Phalla signing off.